So hello. I am Kieran Callum and I am a men's dating coach.
Hi, my name is Anna Eden and I'm a relationship and intimacy coach.
And today what we're going to speak about is your first time, basically, losing your virginity. We usually speak to older audiences that this isn't really an issue for, but today we wanted to speak to a younger audience. So Anna, what are your experiences, or what was your experience of losing your virginity?
Yeah, first of all, I don't like that expression, losing your virginity, because you're not losing anything. But yeah, let's say you have sex the first time.
No, sex for the first time.
Yeah.
Your experience of popping your cherry.
Yeah, my experience. I was 15, turning 16. I was with a boyfriend who was very loving and caring, so...
You were younger than me.
Yeah, but this is also one point we want to communicate. It's not a competition. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's about being ready and being in the right relationship and feeling safe, right? And I was feeling very safe and I was curious. And we started to play, we started to explore, but mostly like touching and things like that. And then we did have sex, but oh my God, it hurt so much. I was all tensed. It was very painful, but I still felt like I wanted it and I felt good with this person, but I was not ready at all. Like my body was not open. It was just so many mistakes made. So yeah, I think we all had this not great first time experiences, and how can we change that? How can we teach younger people about pleasure and arousal and about the body and what needs to be done and needs to be felt before you enter penetration, which is very, very strong physical and energetic interaction, right?
My first time, I was 19. I was quite old. It took me a while because I wasn't really good socially when I was growing up at all. And I was 19 and I was with this girl. And the long and short of it is, due to some semi-legal activities I used to do at the time, she happened to think I was really cool. But I didn't feel like I was, but she thought I was. And she ends up coming round to my place, and I slightly badgered her into it, slightly. Like, she kind of wanted it, but I slightly pushed. But the point is, it was a very much a non-thing. I was there, she was there. I can't imagine there was much foreplay or anything. I didn't feel connected to her at all.
Right.
We did whatever, and then at some point it ended, and it was like, oh, okay, that was it.
Yeah.
And that was totally it. And I just remember that at that point, I had so many questions. It was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? How do you actually have sex? Like, when do you kiss the person? Do you say, hey, can we have sex now? When do you put it in? And I was just, my head, it was just a mess of like insecurity and doubt. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and that really prevented me from enjoying myself.
Yeah, I think this is so common. And we have this rush, we just want to get it done, we just want to do it, without actually feeling into it. Because the truth is, we can trust our bodies. We can really trust our bodies. Like, we are meant for pleasure, actually. So if we would more let go of our head and drop into our bodies, and also slow down, because this is one of the biggest mistakes, that you're just like rushing to do it. But the truth is, the female body is like water. You know how long time it takes to boil water? It takes some time to warm up the female body and make her aroused and make her even ready for penetration. This can take maybe 40 minutes sometimes. And to make her wet, to make her open up, to make her want to receive you. So this is a very, very important point, to slow down and take your time. The body knows when it's ready.
I think something to remember as well is that it doesn't have to be something that you have to do. Then let me explain.
Exactly.
By the time I was about 13, definitely by the time I was 14, I knew that being a virgin was a terrible thing. Like, I knew. There was no doubt in my mind, because everybody I knew, they were all claiming to have had sex. Now, I'm sure most of them were lying, but they were all saying it. And it's like, hold on, are you a virgin? Are you a virgin?
Yeah,
I'm not a virgin.
there was this game going on, right? Like this competition almost.
And I hated being a virgin. I didn't see anything positive to it at all. for me, being a virgin was this stamp that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't cool enough, because nobody actually wanted to do it with me. So then that made me feel like, okay, I need to do it. It wasn't like something where, oh, I'm gonna explore this, like, I don't know, some new movie that people talk about. Have you seen Avengers? Oh, I wanna go see Avengers, I bet that'd be fantastic. It wasn't like that. It's like, I have to do this to not be a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And I had all of that trapped up around me, and that fed into me going into the experience and having so much pressure, that's the word, so much pressure on myself that I just couldn't enjoy myself. So I think that is something to remember. It's remove the label, because at the time I thought, oh, I've lost my virginity at 19, that's really late. It's like, is it though? Is it?
And who says it's late?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
your body, it's your life, it's your pleasure. Like, there's no need to compare yourself to anyone else when it comes to sexuality and intimacy. It's you. It's about you. And some people takes time to meet love. You know, some people are single for a long time. Some people don't feel like it. They're not so connected to the body yet. So we're all so different. Don't compare yourself, please. Don't do that. But it's easy to do. Yeah.
So what advice would you have for somebody who is thinking about having sex for the first time?
I mean, first of all, I would like to give the advice to play first. We are playful. We are sexual beings, and like see what feels good in your body. Like, play around, mess around. Don't take things so seriously before you step into penetration or sex, because there's so much more that is sex than just like penetration. But if you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go all the way, I want to do this with my partner, talk about it. Talk about your fears, talk about your boundaries, talk about how you're feeling in general, and know that, as I said, that it takes time. You know, you have to. Also, the female body likes to be touched.
I was just about to do that.
From,
it's very funny.
From outside.
I was literally just about to do that. You know,
I
I swear to God, there's some psychic connection. I was about to do that. So here's something to think, right? When you are in your head, when I say in your head, it's like, am I good looking enough? Is my penis big enough? Am I tight enough? Do I look good having sex with the lights off or on even? That's taking you away from the actual moment, and that's why my first time was just so uneventful. But then it's like this. So here I'm holding her arm. So now I can either think about all of the stuff that I just said, or I can focus on the fact that I'm holding her arm and how her arm actually feels. And when you focus on the moment and what's going on, then it's way more fun and exciting and sensual, etc.
Yeah, then you create a real connection. So if I would stroke your arm and I was thinking, oh, is this how it's supposed to be, or maybe it's too light, or maybe it's too hard, or is this sexy at all? I don't know. Like, instead, trust yourself and feel the energy, feel the body, be curious. Like, oh, this feels nice, or I really care about this person, and open up your heart while you're doing this. Try to open up your heart, because you can trust yourself, and there's nothing right or wrong. The very important thing is consent. Both of you have to say yes, and it's gonna be a fuck yes. It's not gonna be a yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we want an emphatic yes.
Yes. Fuck
You
yes.
want them to be giving you the greatest yes that they've ever yesed of all time. That's what we want.
Yeah. And yeah, as we started to talk about, the female body really wants to be stroked from outside and in. So you don't start to touch a woman's genitals right away. That's not how you start to touch a girl at all.
No.
Because, no. So start with the outer body. Start with the hands, fingers, and then the breast is actually the sexual activation part in a woman's body. You cannot move to the genitals without touching the breast first. So this is where you open up her heart and her emotions and her ecstasy in the body.
All
so
right.
It's the whole body before you like attack the genitals. Whereas in men, the sexual energy is more concentrated to the genitals. So
That's
it's a
very
little
true.
bit different. So it starts more on in the genitals and spreading out. That's
Yeah.
the difference between men and women.
You know, I've
actually.
been slightly holding back throughout this conversation, but screw it, let's dive in. Let's be really honest, right? So for any men or boys, teenagers, whatever, watching, by the time you put it in, you want her to be begging you to put it in.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the truth. So you want to be exploring other parts of her body, and in an ideal world, by the time you even get close to her, you want her to be like, why the hell will you not put it in? Which is basically what Anna was speaking about with the 40 minutes and the foreplay, etc., etc.,
Like the
etc.
touch, the kisses,
Yeah.
the strokes.
Really, really, really take your time. And one more thing I would say as well is that something I realized the other day, or a couple of years ago, whenever it was, sex doesn't start. Like if you ask most people when does sex start, they'll say, oh, it starts when the penis goes in there. That's what most people would say. But then other people might say, oh, sex starts once you start touching and kissing and whatever. I realized that sex actually starts the moment you start communicating. So like when you're on the date, it's, if it does lead to sex, it started then. It's with the looks, it's with the energy that's built up, it's with the conversation, etc. So have a sense of fun and play and exploration about your entire interaction with that person. And then sex can come as a natural extension of your interaction.
Exactly. Yeah. Because we need to feel it, right? It's not like booking an appointment. Yeah, now I'm gonna
Pencil you in.
Yeah, now we're gonna have sex
10:30.
for the first time, 10:30, and you know, you need to be like, you also first need to trust each other, you need to be comfortable with each other, you need to like really connect with each other before you take the step to have sex. And please, yeah, take your time.
Oh, one more. So here's one. Don't worry about doing the wrong thing either. Right? So when I was younger, I remember this absolutely terrified me.
Okay.
I was about 13, 14, and I'm as virgin can be, and I'm with my cousin and all his friends, and they're all really cool, at least they looked cool. And this girl was talking about being fucked by some guy, and he put it in the wrong hole. And she was laughing her ass off. Like laughing, because she was like, oh, he was such an, he didn't know what to do, And then that made me really paranoid. That made me massively paranoid about doing something wrong. But then I would have all of this pressure to like do the right thing. But something I've realized over time is that, let's say you do something and the person doesn't like it. It's only a huge issue if you make it an issue in that moment, you know? I was with a woman who did something I didn't particularly care for.
Yeah.
Yeah. She tried to put her finger up my bum. And she put it up there, and I was like,
she should have asked first.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't offended.
Yeah.
But she did. I was like, all right, so how do I feel about this? I was like, it's not really for me.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, she took it out, and then we just carried on with what we were doing. And it was great.
Always communicate. It doesn't have to be so complicated or shameful, you know?
Yeah.
Like express like, that's not for me. Can you move your hand a little bit there? Or can you take it a little bit slower? Can we do it like that? Can we pause?
Yeah.
I need a break. And just because you're also like when you are... Okay, did we talk enough about the entering? Like we said, the female body needs to be fully juicy and prepared and relaxed.
Juicy is a good word.
Yeah, so relaxed is also important. Like we need to relax and surrender and receive. Because if we're all tensed up and gonna have sex, it's not gonna be a nice experience. It's gonna tense up, and it can actually create traumas in the body for the rest of life.
So how do women relax and surrender to receive?
First, she needs to feel safe with her partner. She needs to be fully safe. She needs to feel like she's around. She needs to feel like she's like really seen,
appreciated, adored,
yes,
honored. Something I would say is, you said people need to be appreciated. Oh yeah, no judgment whatsoever. So if you judge yourself, then that is bad, because you'll go into it with like a sense of shame and guilt and etc. But also no judgment of the other person either. Because you said women need to feel seen. And one way that I've noticed women like to feel seen is, again, there is zero judgment. So if she goes, I would like it if you did some crazy thing like, I don't know, come in all of my holes. I don't know, something crazy like that. And you're like, okay, cool. That's awesome. Or like, wow, you have such a wild, naughty mind. That's amazing. Like that there, like the lack of judgment about that person showing you who they are, like at their deepest core, that allows for a more satisfying experience for you and for them, and it brings you closer together, etc.
Yeah. And while you're having sex, also know that you can always stop. You can always say, I need a break, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore, or it hurts. Like, if sex ever hurts, please stop. Sex is not supposed to hurt. Stop. There's no reason to continue. Stop, breathe, try something else, just play. Like, try something that feels pleasurable, because it's been too many years and too many millions of women suffering from pain when having sex, because we don't dare to say no. We think it's supposed to be like this, and there's a lot of shame around it. So
one more thing. So let's say you're a guy and you're worried about premature ejaculation, as many of us are, and it could very well happen on your first time as well. Don't let it be a big deal. It's really not. No. It's kind of like if you're with some girl, some woman, etc., and then you do your thing, and then you come after, I don't know, a minute or a minute and a half or whatever, and it's really quick. If you then go, oh my gosh, I'm a loser, and then you make that like a thing, then she's going to feel weird, and it will then become a thing. Whereas if it happened, it's cool, it doesn't really matter, you can like go back to touching and kissing, and then maybe restart the sex again at a later point, or maybe not. Then it'll be much more emotionally free and less pressured for you.
Exactly. And then read each other's body language. I mean, if you're having sex with someone and they're all like tensed up like this, like, you need to pay attention to that. You're two human beings coming together, merging. You want to be soft and gentle with each other and loving with each other. So pay attention to each other's breath and each other's bodies, and talk to each other.
Do we have some questions?
Let's see.
Let's have a look. Okay.
Yeah, will it hurt? Yeah, it can hurt. It can hurt at first. It's very different. It's very individual if it hurts or not. For me, yeah, it did hurt, but my body was also not so prepared. So if you're gonna penetrate without being like totally open, totally wet, it will probably hurt. But the more you are ready and the more you relax, the less it would hurt. But as I said, if it hurts, like, take a break.
When I had sex with my first girlfriend, she was a virgin at the time, and that really hurt her. It really did. But again, yeah, I wasn't a virgin, but she was. I was maybe like 20 or so, and she was in a lot of pain, and she actually started crying. And looking back, I mean, everything that we're saying that you should do today, the whole mindset of it, I did not have that mindset then, so we went into it the way we did. But she was in a lot of pain, she was crying, and then it was really traumatic for me. Because I'm on top of her and I'm looking at her, and in that moment I knew how it would feel to be a rapist. Like, that's actually how it felt, because she didn't look like she was enjoying it at all. And like, then my erection went away, and that was like the first time I'd ever like had anything like that happen. I'd never been in a situation where my cock went soft. And so it was traumatic to see her cry, and then it was traumatic to like just go soft, and then I couldn't stop thinking about that for quite a while afterwards.
But of course, it would be strange if you would go soft, because she's crying. It's not. It would be a little bit creepy if you would be like, oh, hard, and like you want to fight. Like, we need to. Hey, we're human beings in a meeting. We need to just like meet each other as human beings. So. I like that you said that, yeah, maybe back then you didn't know all this, but this is also the reason why we're doing this video with all our life experience. If we can inspire the younger generations to to practice consent, to understand how our bodies work, to understand arousal, and to really be honest with each other and feel your body and respect yourself and your partner, we can avoid these situations, right?
Yeah. So are we done?
Let's see.
Do we have any more questions? Do we have more questions? No. I do believe.
Yeah, so safety. Okay, last thing is safety. So make sure you protect yourself. Make sure you use a condom if you sleep with someone that you haven't agreed on sleeping with unprotected. If you don't want to get pregnant, or if you want to protect yourself from STDs. So that's very important. And that's also something we would like to say, that condom is not something embarrassing. It's not something shameful. It's something very normal. So when you get a little bit older, this is something you're gonna do like a normal, like putting on your shoes. Like, it's nothing weird. So just get used to it. And if you feel like it's complicated, practice.
Yeah, practice.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you for listening to us talk. You could be doing absolutely anything with your time right now. You could be watching cat videos or God only knows what. But you're actually watching us, so we wholeheartedly do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and subscribe to our channels, and you can also find us on Instagram. I'm Anna Eden Coach on Instagram.
I'm at Kieran Callum. It should be spelt on screen. Thanks a lot. Take care. Goodbye. Au revoir. And see you later. Oh, and Sampai Jumpa.